Hello, everybody. Welcome back to SOS.
Welcome back, guys. We love having you here for our 34th episode. And we're really excited about this one. It's a dear friend of ours. His name's Gabriel Sierra. He's an actor. He's a singer. We worked with him. He's just an amazing soul, and we wanted to have him here to basically like kind of talk about, you know, besides being an artist, but like kind of things like toxic masculinity, obviously, by our title, but what it's like to kind of be a sexually fluid in a world where it's like, you know, the versions of a man is just so prevalent and toxic, and and
Gabe is he strikes me as so exceptionally emotionally intelligent and mature, especially for his age.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, I don't know exactly what, he's like young or mid-20s, but he's just he's kind of an old soul, and he's very self-aware, and he's really cares so much about his individual evolution as a person inside. And so it's going to be a great conversation.
Yeah, I'm excited. I love him so much. So without further ado, here's Gabe.
Hello, welcome Gabe to the pod.
Yay!
Hola. Hi, how's everyone?
Hello. I miss your face so much. Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Thank God for technology. Thank God for technology, because I get to see these gorgeous faces.
Gorgeous.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to just get into this with you. So like, you know, to jump in, can you kind of like tell us your little SOS moment?
Yeah, so I'm 23 years old, and I guess like as everybody else in their 20s, like you're figuring life out, and mine is definitely a breakup. And it was a moment where I didn't know myself, and I thought I lost it all, but I didn't, and I am who I am now because of it. So yeah, that's my SOS moment.
Very important.
I mean, who can't relate to that?
I was gonna say very relatable.
That's what I was saying. I was like, this is very relatable. I feel like I'm gonna get people like many nostalgic moments about their first time. So I'm excited.
For sure.
All right. Well, to kind of backtrack before we get into that more, so I want to know more about you and growing up, and I know you're a talented artist, and I know I know you, so I want to see like how that came to be, and like your childhood a little bit, and how you related to other people, women, men, you know?
Right. See, it's crazy because even till now, like I'm adjusting, and like every day I tell myself that I'm learning. So like one thing I tell myself is I selfishly tell myself that I don't have it all figured out. And it coming from a very small town in Plainview, Texas. It's like Panhandle area, close to Oklahoma, just well known for like either cotton fields, six-man football, welding, being a farmer, stuff like that. And the moment I stepped foot into a movie theater, I was like, this is what I want to do. This is me. This is what I want to do. I was like, I love being charismatic. I love, you know, being in the arts. And since the age of about 6, I knew I was like, I think boys are cute. You know what I mean? And then coming from, you know, a very just like dominated area of like, you know, quote unquote masculine Southern men. And you know, I could never get comfortable to trust those people. And then I was like, okay, let me be around women. And it's just like, well, they're picking up on things. And I felt like to say it as cliche as possible, it couldn't fit into anything. So like there was a moment in my life where I just like shut off artistically. I didn't want to do anything. I grew hair past my shoulders. I got overweight.
Wait, really?
Things.
What?
I have the photos. I want to show them, but maybe on another day.
It's our promo
picture. A little promo photo of just me just like triple chin.
If you guys aren't watching our YouTube right now, because Gabe is like clean shaven, tight haircut, like body, tight little turtleneck thing. Like you would, that's way off from what you look like now.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Growth. Let me tell you, growth and water. Water is very important.
Yeah, if you don't have a crush on Gabe, you're just wrong.
Like, what are you doing with life? So yeah, it was very, very, very hard to like express yourself. I even see like my mom and like my cousins and being the youngest, literally the youngest in the family. Like I was the youngest of 5, and I kind of was just like not like on the back burner or anything, but I was in the back like watching everybody like go through trial and error, and like, you know, my brother getting kicked out, my sisters and you know, sister's brothers like eloping and doing this and that. You know, respect, things happen because I have like my bad things too, but like I felt ultimately like alone, I guess to say. And then by the time I was in high school is kind of where I was like, you know what? I kind of want to like get out of this little dark little corner and like start being artistically again. And then, or artistic again. And I shaved off my head, started working out, got more creative. In high school, I was doing like one act play and I was like, this is my thing. This is what I want to do. And still I wasn't even out yet. I still wasn't out. And I was and there was this one story where I was in seventh grade and we were at the bus stop and I was saying this joke that obviously like broke necks and killed everybody because everybody was just like, ha ha ha, laughing. And this one girl was just like, oh, so you must be gay because you're funny. You must be gay. He's gay, right? He's gay. And they were just like pointing these fingers like, you have to be gay because you're funny. You have to be gay. And I was just like, what is this? Like, what is this thing? So I can't like express myself because I'm like, you know what I mean? So it was just like, I told myself right there and then I was like, this is not for me. These are not the people I need to be surrounded by. I was like, where do I go to find people? And then I found LA.
Oh, wow.
And I moved it. Yeah. And then it took me I graduated school. After I graduated, I moved to Oklahoma to live for a year. And then I moved out to LA and my parents were still together. My parents are still together to this day. My dad only had one girlfriend and that was my mom. Yeah, so it's insane. Wow. And they've been together and they had 5 kids. And so, like I said, I kind of grew up alone and I never once felt a struggle ever. I mean, we were like middle class, but I never once felt like, oh, we didn't pay our bills or we didn't eat. We didn't do that. You know, my dad did what he had to do to provide for his family. Like hardworking guy. He's been working, busting his ass off since 16 years old, has like the roughest hands that I've ever felt because he's just constantly on it. And like, I just, I respect him for that. And he didn't really have a childhood either because his dad died, I believe, at like 9 years old. And he was the oldest of 12 kids. So
my God.
Yeah. So there's like, he was a dad and he did what he had to do. But I have like a stronger connection to my mom because, she spent more time with me physically while my dad was out doing crazy things and stuff. But even with that, it's like, you just know that there's this tick on everybody in the South because they are brought up from this like toxic system of just like, ugh. And I saw that when I was young and I saw that so clear and I would express it and no one would take me serious and understand. When I came out here to LA, I just like see it. And now I talk to my cousins and my nieces and saying like, hey, like don't fall victim to like what you hear and what you see. Like there's a bigger world out there, stuff like that. But 100% my parents have made me the person that I am today. So I would say I had like a so-so childhood because it was like great family wise. It was, all that, but I just couldn't really be comfortable like in my own skin really until I like left. So,
and when you say you expressed yourself, like how did you communicate your issues with trying to fit in and like your issues with the toxic masculinity that was surrounding you? Like how did you express it? Like, did you go to your dad or your brothers? Like,
right. Well, I was extremely low key. Like at that moment, I just kind of kept everything to myself. I didn't realize, anything about like toxic masculinity or, stigmas and this, that, and boundaries. And like, until like I moved out and started thinking for myself, literally started thinking for myself,
When did you move to LA? You've been here how many years?
I moved in 2016.
Yeah. So we're kind of like right before we met you. I feel like we met you in 2017.
Yeah.
And Alyssa and I have seen in you like massive growth and like coming into your own literally just in like 3 years. Like watching, I remember when you started working with us and this is the outside perspective. So the reason I'm bringing it up to you is to see if this is accurate because I don't claim to know how you were feeling. But I do remember you saying like that you weren't, some girl had a crush on you at work and then was like, we need to find out if he's straight. And I think I remember asking you and you were like, well, like I've dated girls. Like you were very vague about it.
Yeah.
But then now, but I don't even know for sure. Were you out yet or?
And now it's like, I'm here.
Yeah. Now you're just like, this is who I am, bitches.
No, I wasn't out yet. During the time that we worked together, I guess this is like pre-coming out. I told myself, I was like, all right, I think it was, what's the holiday around September? Is that Memorial?
Oh, Labor Day?
Labor Day.
Yeah. And I went and I flew to Houston because my family gathered there for celebration. And I was just like, all right, this is it. This is the moment that like everybody kind of has to like go through, you know, mom, dad, like I'm gay, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, my dad, barrier. I can tell my dad an entire paragraph about, you know, how my day was about this or whatever. And he probably would just give me like, that's nice.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, that's just how it is. But like behind closed curtains, he'll tell my mom like, "How are the kids?" Da, 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 da. That's just how he's built.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? And my mom, oh my god, I'll like, Mom, I'm taking a nap. Oh my god, this and this happened today, and da, 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 da. I'm like, Mom, you know, she you know, she'll go on and on and on about it. So like, she's one of my best friends. So I kind of had like a right hand and left hand. I was like, this could go really, really good and really, really bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was making the bed and my mom was there and I was like, Mom, I have to tell you something. And she's like, you lost your job. You got a ticket. Don't tell your dad. Please don't, mijo. Like, and I was like, Mom, like, it's fine. It's just, you know, I like women, of course. And she's like, well, yeah, of course. What do you mean? I was like, I also like guys. And her reaction was obviously just very just like, you know, she's like, wait, what does that mean? And I'm like, you know what it means. You know what it means. You know what I mean? And then at the very end of it all, well, you're still my son. We hugged each other, kind of had a little moment. You know, her eyes were a little heavy, but it's, you know, life's going to go on. And then it was with my dad. And I remember we were in the back and it was at my uncle's house. My uncle's very just like crazy and like charismatic and wild almost. And I was in the back with my dad and my mom comes out and I was like, okay, so now mom's here. And then my uncle comes out and I was like, this is not going the way I wanted it to go. And then I was like, Dad, I want to tell you something. And then my uncle's like, oh, do you need some like private time? I can go inside. And my dad's like, no, it's fine. Stay inside, stay outside with us. And I was like, well, I was like, yeah. I was like, Theo, if you don't mind going inside. And my dad's like, stay inside. I was like, Dad, I'm gay. Like,
You just put
I
it
like
out there.
boys as much as I like women. I like everybody. Like, it's just how it is. And then like he said nothing. He put his hands on his hip and then he walked inside and didn't say anything. And I told my sister, I was like, he hates me. And I was like, no, it's not what it is. And she was saying that he just doesn't know how to express himself. You know, that's dad. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And, you know, as time went by, my mom told me he had a couple breakdowns about it. But like, you know what? Like, I'm doing this for me. I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm doing it for
Right.
me. And it had to happen. And I can say honestly that I'm privileged from that situation because not a lot of people have that same reaction or opportunity. Some people are kicked out on the spot. Some people are disowned.
Yeah.
Some people don't even have the family to talk to and have as a support system. So I recognize that, you know what I mean? And that's why I'm always there to like support people who are going through the same thing.
Yeah.
But ultimately, my family's happy with me and like success speaks louder than anything. And like, I feel like I'm doing really good for myself. So like, that's kind of like,
did
where
you
I'm at right now.
immediately empathize with your dad's reaction or did it kind of affect you? Do you
Well,
do you think it still affects you kind of?
I would think more if my mom had the reaction, if my mom had the reaction that my dad had, I think I would be like, I would be more sore in my heart because not to say that me and my dad didn't have a close connection or whatever, but like I said, my dad was there to, you know, he supported us. Shit, we had everything because of my dad, everything. He was that foundation. But like to get on a level of like spirituality and like more emotions, it was like more my mom. You know, she was the one that was there to say, you know, how are you? How you feeling? You know, tell me what's up, blah, blah, blah. So like, if she was the one just to completely just kind of have that little like moment, I would kind of feel like, oh, wow, like, fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do think about it sometimes. I do think in the perspective of my dad and think like, wow, like, I just hate it because there's like this toxic masculinity that goes on with like gay people and like, oh, it's like, oh, you automatically want to wear nails and do dresses. I mean, no shame to anybody who does, but like he's probably getting all these, you know, uneducated things that he's like heard and just like, you know, kind of putting it together and putting me in this category. And I was just like, dang, did I lose my dad and stuff? But it's like, he knows and he has, you know, ways to know that I'm still the same guy. Literally. And then it's funny because my cousin was like, oh my God, I love this new version of you and yada, yada. And I'm like, it's not a new version, same version, just a little bit more details that you know, but yeah.
Right, exactly. It's like I'm the
You know what
same
I mean?
person.
Yeah, same person.
You're just wrapping your mind around a different aspect of me that already was here.
Exactly.
So after that happened, so that was only a few years ago then.
That was only a few years ago, yeah.
And has your dad ever, I know you've heard through your mom, like how he's kind of dealt with it, but have you guys had a one-on-one conversation or is it awkward? Do you feel awkward because now you've had relationships like boyfriends and do you feel weird talking to him about that or do you just avoid it?
See, yeah, I haven't had a one-on-one with him about it.
Yeah.
I really haven't had like a one-on-one in general with him about anything. With with my dad, it's just like couple sentences. This is what we're doing. Like I remember one time he's like, we're gonna go cut a tree. Put your shoes on. I'm like, Dad, should I put on like my dirty shoes, or am I just gonna like, oh, where are we going? I said, put your shoes on. I'm like, all right, this is what we're doing. Putting shoes on. No details. We're just gonna go with the flow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, he's not one to have a conversation. And then on top of it, I don't know. That's just, I don't know. Would I be willing to call him and talk to him about it? You know,
Right.
because that's something that I do need, and just like I'm not allowing myself to like think that way. That like maybe that's something that could be good for me to know. Like if what his mindset and what, but I haven't had the chance to talk to him about it. My mom told me on the low key 2 times he broke down about it.
Mm-hmm.
So
What about your siblings?
Siblings. So I have 4 siblings, but like I said, I felt like I lived alone, or like grew up alone since I'm so young. My oldest sister is like mid 40s, and I'm like 23 years old. My mom had kids at 16, and she has a lot of just like religious boundaries, and she's kind of just like on her own level, and so she's very distant from us. And my other sister, she has a really big family, and she's really supportive. She's actually honestly one of the first people I told before my parents, and she had like a reaction like, oh my God, like mom's not gonna like that, and what are we gonna do about parents, instead of just more about me. But I totally understood where she was coming from, because she's gonna see my parents, and I'm just gonna go out to LA and live my life, and like, oh, I did my thing and I'm doing me, and you have to kind of just like deal with the consequences in a way. Brother Mark, he came over to LA, he pulled me to the side and said, is that him? And I was like, yeah. Which was at the time my boyfriend. He goes, I don't give a shit. He goes, and if anybody gives a shit, I'll fuck him up for it. I love you. And I was like, I was like, I love it. I love that. I love it. So that's where he is on that level. And then I had another brother. We didn't really talk much. We didn't honestly get along like when we were younger. Now it's like we're on a better understanding level. But everybody, when it comes down to it, it's just, it doesn't matter, to be honest. Like honestly, I could say my sister, my brother, they they think this and they think that, blah blah blah, but like ultimately it's me at the end of the day. So like if
You're
the
right.
whole world was shitting on me, I'm gonna do me.
You're right. And also everybody's reaction is more a reflection on themselves than you, and like your I know that doesn't take away from the pain when it's like your own family, but your dad, where he, I don't know if he grew up in the South too, but like he was, his life that you described briefly for us, like he's deeply steeped, obviously he's straight, but he's also steeped. Toxic masculinity hurts straight men and gay men, like, and so, and everybody literally. And so it's like it seems that he doesn't have the tools to communicate in the way, the tools that you've built for yourself, he hasn't built for himself.
And then, speaking up on the SOS moment, like after my breakup, the things and the steps that I took to progress myself, toxic masculinity wouldn't have helped at all, because I did things that like would have looked so like, oh, wait, you're journaling. Oh, you're writing in a journal. So it's like a diary. Oh, you're doing this. Oh, like you're crying on the phone. Like you're doing video diaries. Like the things that I do, I kind of keep to myself, because it's like, one, it's for me, and it's like other people wouldn't understand, but like, that word. That toxicity, I make sure to bring up all the time when I can, especially in like around people that I don't even know. It's like, wait, do you understand what you just said? That's I mean, without ever, you know what I mean? Because I feel like that's important, accountability.
It is.
And you talk about your breakup. Like, I don't know how much you're willing to share. Like, you don't have to go into crazy detail, but how long did you date? And
so,
and was he your first boyfriend?
Longitude and latitude, I still remember exactly where we were standing. No, I'm just kidding. You're like, whoa.
I was really ready for this.
No, believe it or not, and I'm mad that I left my journal in the car, but like I had my journal, and one of the first pages I wrote, because I wrote from every day from October 24th until I think about like 6 months later. And I wrote in the journal, I was like, longitude, latitude, I'm here at the beach, and this is what I'm feeling. Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, this is what I'm hearing. I was like, this is the song that's playing. I was like, my feet are pruned up. Like it was beautiful. It was great. And I felt like when you selfishly give yourself to like paper without any filter, it it's great because when you start like filtering out what's in your mind,
Yes.
it makes it easier to invite like more energy and better things. You know what I mean?
You're
that,
so
but-
right.
Yeah, right. And I low key like kind of stopped a little bit, but I'm like, well, maybe I'm at a better place now to where I don't have to like write every single day. But as far as the breakup, yeah, it was my first relationship with a boy. Before that was with a girl, but we split because I moved here to LA. But this was a great awakening moment for me, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. I wasn't, even when we were working together, I wasn't productive in the way that I was. I was not using and abusing this city the way I needed to as an artist. I was a little, self-conscious. I wasn't confident in like why I'm here and stuff like that. So I wasn't doing anything towards me. And once I found this person, I was depending on finding something more about myself through him, which is so toxic. You know what I mean?
Right, but it's also natural, I think, in like especially early relationships. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree with that because other people would be like, trust me. And they tell me theirs and I'm like, ding, ding, ding. Yep. Yeah, you're kind of on the nose. But it's crazy because you get into this moment of accepting things that you told yourself you weren't going to accept ever. Like,
yes.
you start doing these things that your single self told yourself, like, you would rather be dead, blah, blah, blah. And you're doing it, you get caught in this like web and you're just like, oh my gosh. And the moment you realize it, hopefully like you get out and stuff. But this boy that we started dating, we were both like the same age, in our early 20s. And I didn't realize at the time, but just how like polar opposite, like we were, you know what I mean? Like he had a really good, like friends group because he was like a frat boy, went to college, and I never went to college and was low-key insecure about like, oh, so many people went to college and I'm surrounded by all these adults and all these people that are doing like what society says you're supposed to do. So I'm less than because I don't know X, Y, and Z, and I don't know what this equals what and blah, blah, blah. Like, honestly, if you tell me like what 9 times blah, blah, blah is, I might stutter, might pull out my calculator real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. So I was just like, okay, so I'm surrounded by a whole like different environment. And I was like adjusting myself to that.
Yeah.
Like I was adjusting myself to that. And
like codependency.
Like, right. Like, okay, so this is what they do. So let me do this. And oh, this is what you do. And like, let me go along your routine. I just lost sight completely of like what I'm here and who I am. And it just like, And then I think about myself and I'm like, damn, like I'm falling into what my sister did. I'm falling into what my brother did. Like think about, that's why I always like to like learn people's stories and stuff to be like, to remind myself. But I just felt I lost myself artistically, physically. I was the biggest I've ever been. I had so much just anger in myself all the time. I would yell sometimes to the point to where like I couldn't sing for like 3 days. It was just like, what in the world is going on? This is not what I want. Yeah. And actually, surprisingly enough, just about like a month and a half ago is kind of like when it like officially ended because it was like an on and off thing. But like the first off was crazy. I made noises and cried the way I didn't even think that I could. And then like the next day, which is it's appropriate, we get embarrassed about like these moments and things that we talk about that are like very bad, like oh, I break up and this and that and emotions. But like if we normalize them and talk about them like you do on this podcast, then it makes it all worthwhile to realize that we're not all different. We're all going through the same thing. And I'm like losing my train of thought. It happens when my heart is just like open and my mind's like, stay on track.
No, you're talking about like how, the healing process and. Yeah,
the healing process for sure. When I broke up with him, I had my time to kind of just be, in the room, tub of ice cream type stuff. Yeah. And then, I was like, all right, I'm going to take all these tools, all the things that I can do for myself because it's time to get selfish. It's time to get selfish. It is CBD. Hands down, hands down, amen. Hands down. Yeah, if there's anything for you to remember, it'd be this. CBD is fantastic. I remember when I had my new job, it was my 4th day of CBD, and I have like ADHD, and I kind of I struggle to like pay attention and really like process my thoughts sometimes, and I kind of just overthink. And when I was at the POS system, I was like, I'm content.
Oh,
like I'm here.
Present.
Oh my God, like I'm not thinking about if I brought a ranch to that table. We don't have ranch. If I brought like a ketchup to that table, I was like, wait, we don't have ranch.
Yes, we did.
If the
other place.
He's like, wait, we did. We hated when we got asked it though. It's like, bring your own ranch, the fuck. But I'm not worried about what time I'm getting off work. I'm not worried about what I have to do. I'm not worried about how many hours of sleep. I'm here. It felt so good. I can feel myself. I can process my thoughts. So CBD definitely really, really helped. I was writing in journals. I was doing video diaries. I was working out 6 days a week. I was eating clean. The food part too. The food part. Because your gut is like the center of everything. And the food part really got me going.
Honestly.
And I turned in.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I turned into one of those like dietary restriction people. I was just like, I'm lactose intolerant. I don't do this. I don't do red meats either. And just like, oh my God. But, all those little things were stepping stones to like growth. I always think mind, body, soul. Mind, body, soul. I even have it like back there, like mind, body, soul.
Yeah.
It's I narrow it down to those 3 things because it's like if you're not giving your mind attention, you're not giving your soul attention, and if you're not giving your body attention in the day, then you're going to start like trickling down a little bit. Like
you're right.
My mind, I'm like, am I stimulating my mind? Am I reading? Am I doing critical thinking? Am I keeping myself accountable for how I'm thinking, what I say? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then body is like obviously like the food, the working out, even what you tell yourself in the mirror. Like how am I looking? You know what I mean? And then soul is just like, who are you? Like I'm here for music. I'm here for family, friends. Like that's what I'm doing. And then I kind of put those together and then made like a little like trio baby.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what I did, my little process.
Baby. I think that you're an exceptional person because for many reasons, but because you're 23 and you're talking like this and you are like, you grew up in the South being sexually fluid and with all of these things that don't lend themselves to a 23-year-old with all these tools for self-development that you have. Right. And it's nobody's credit but your own. Like that's one of the things that most of the people in my life that I surround myself with, throughout my history of friendships and relationships have been older than me. And you're one of the few people who's like younger that I can really connect with on that level. And I think you're kind of an old soul and I really admire your pursuit of self-development. Like you don't just talk about it. You're doing it and you are consistent with it. It's not like you're going through a phase of trying to figure yourself out. You're just like you said, every day, every time I talk to you, you're like, I'm trying to read more about this. I'm working on this. And you are truly doing it. I admire you for that. You're so cute.
You're trying to break this mic with tears.
Well, I wanted to ask, like, do you think like everything?
I love you, Molly. I love you, Molly. Thank you so much.
Do you think that like what you went through kind of inferred your or propelled your emotional intelligence in a way? Like it kind of helped you in that healing process. Like if you didn't go through all that, like would it journaling and everything that you're doing now to heal and had healed and become more present, did that help that more?
It definitely. You're saying like, did it help me like develop like who I am type thing?
Yeah,
like,
and become the emotionally intelligent person that we know you to be.
Yeah, of course, because that's something too. If you were to remember anything, it'd be this. Like, emotional intelligence is like so. Like I tell you, that's like the key to everything. To have like a complete grasp on your emotions, it'll save you time. It'll save you like worry. It'll honestly like save like your life. To be honest, if you get a complete grasp of like your emotions, like there's this book that I'm reading. Pulls out the book. It's Emotional Intelligence 2.0. And I got that almost immediately after like the breakup. And it talks about like, there's at the very beginning, it says like, oh, there's this manager, her name's Lisa, and her emotional intelligence score is like 60. And then it'll have like an employee talk about her. Like she'll come in, when Lisa's not having a good day, when and not to talk to Lisa, when to ask Lisa questions, when she walks around with her hand on her head, all these, so that's a low score, right? And then there's like somebody with like a 90% high score, and it talks about like, they come in with open arms, their door is always open, they have really great communicative skills, they're always happy, they're always this, that. And this book breaks down like, are you socially aware? Like, are you, emotionally aware of like what you tell yourself? That was my low score because it has you take a test, and that was low on me. The things that I would tell myself, like it was like super just like, no, it's not good enough. Do that video again. You know what? No, postpone that because it could be this, it could be that.
Yeah.
And honestly, you could have this and you could be, bigger, but you just didn't work out, and you ate that cake yesterday, didn't you? Yeah, you must not be taking it serious. Like it was like, oh God, like, it was just so much, But my social awareness was high. Like
Super
I could
high.
read a room. I could get into like a 20-hour conversation with that
Yeah.
person right there. I can make you one of the happiest people just by conversating. You know what I mean? But like,
It's kind of just like control.
you have to
You're very
you have to just
perceptive.
balance that out, like balance those things out. And like, you know, that's really important. Just this having the moment to like catch yourself and say, you know what? Right now I'm a little distraught.
Yeah.
Right now I'm not going to let, you know, X, Y, and Z affect me right now in the present. I'm going to take the time. I'm going to take some 10 deep breaths and I'm going to realize that my pulse is still going.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, you know, tomorrow's not really guaranteed. So like, I'm going to do what I have to do for me now emotionally to like build myself and not like worry about what's in front of me. Cause it's all internal at this point.
Yeah,
it's
it
like
is.
internal. That's what I told
And they
myself like when I
say-
broke up.
Oh yeah. It's all
Yeah.
the whole life you're living is inside yourself.
Mm-hmm,
And have you guys heard that saying, worrying is praying for things you don't want? And
Always
like,
praying for things you don't
I heard that
want.
recently and I was like, wow, that's powerful because you are giving so much attention to things that you're creating things in your head that you don't want to happen just by focusing on them. And it's almost like praying for them in a way. I think that's very powerful, but that's what you're talking about is like getting a handle on, because you're not even saying deny. There's a difference between being emotionally aware and denying your emotions. Like you don't want to be like, I'm happy. No, I'm fine. It's fine. It's fine. That's not emotionally aware. It's like, I'm feeling like shit right now. I'm probably going to have to let this ride out and acknowledge that I feel this way and it'll be better tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
I
wanna
sometimes
ask-
freak out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I freak out people sometimes because you know how like they'll be like, "Oh, how's your day? How are you? I'm good. How are you? I'm doing great." Da, 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 da. When people ask me like, "How are you doing?" I was like, "Well, you know what? Yesterday I woke up a little kind of just like not myself."
Yeah.
But
They're
I
like,
keep it short, and then I'm like, "Yeah." But I don't get into like a whole like kumbaya. Like, let me just lay out on this couch real
Right.
quick and explain my life. But I'm like, you know, yesterday I woke up a little not myself. Today, a lot better though, and I appreciate that. How are you? And they're just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I don't know how to answer that." But it's just like normalize your emotions.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Being answering,
Yes.
like being real. Well, I want to ask kind of because you very nicely went into like your SOS moment and then how you have learned and grown from that. And I kind of wanted to end with asking you, what advice would you give to your younger self? Or younger men who feel the need to hide who they are to fit in, but also specifically if you were to be able to go back and talk to yourself at a young age, what would you say?
I would say time. You have it. Time. You have it.
Yeah.
I would say that because I always feel like I'm just always in conflict with like knowing if I have time or if I'm doing everything the way I'm supposed to be doing and catching up. And it's just like, relax, you have time, breathe. And then also tell myself that this is temporary. Whatever
Yeah.
you're feeling is temporary. And this environment and the people that you're around is temporary. And also you will be surprised at all the people that will love you unconditionally, even though you don't feel it right now because of the person that you're going to become. Like I would gas myself up.
Yeah.
Like you just have to gas yourself up. You
Yeah.
have to. Like I would,
You're
I would
right.
definitely
And
go
give
back.
hope.
Go ahead.
I just said, and give
And you-
hope to yourself.
Oh, and give. Oh yeah, you have to, because if not, you're gonna seek it in the wrong places, and then you're just gonna bite yourself in the ass for not telling yourself that you could have got that from yourself. But
Yeah.
I would definitely go back and just be like, you know, the world has a lot to offer, and these 6 people that are around you that are shitting on you is nothing compared to what the world can show you. And
Yeah.
people that are, you know, like you said, people in the South or people that were young, and what I would tell them is just like, yeah, like you graduate high school, shit, you could literally leave that world behind. You don't even have to be in close relations with your family. Like just because their blood does not, like a toxic person is a toxic person. A toxic
Yeah.
environment is a toxic environment. It does not matter. You can make your own safe place. You can find your own family.
Yeah.
It's out there. It's out there. So trust, create a space in your head for the positivity and also a place for the negativity, because I'm not going to say selfishly like, oh, just don't be negative, because it's
Right.
going to happen. We're humans. You know what I mean? But you need to create a spot in your head for creativity and a spot for growth to tell yourself that the way you want to feel is possible, and it's going to. Not right
Yeah.
now, but it's possible.
I love that. That's beautiful. That's
you.
so
Amen.
real too. Honestly, that's like,
Men.
We need like a trio of just like mics. Like we should just go buy cheap mics so we can just like drop them and shit. You know, drop it.
exactly. Drop the mic.
I have one that's like connected to this because like I'm a fake gamer.
Is
Britney
that what
Spears
that
headpiece.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love it. I've never played like video games. I swear to God, if I played video, I sucked at video games. I was never good at video games. No, bad.
Also, don't let Alyssa tell you she's a fake gamer. She is a real gamer. She has an account.
You're a real gamer?
Yes.
Don't be fronting. What do you play?
Call of Duty, you know.
No way. Do you really play Call of Duty? Like Black Ops Zombies, like zombies and stuff?
Name it. Name one. I play them all.
Shut up. I used to be addicted to zombies. It would give me hella anxiety, but like,
Oh my god.
I was like, I loved it. What the hell? Look
Well,
at that.
all right. Enough.
Let's get it. Let's get into it.
But Gabe, I do want to
You said you're not good
ask-
at gaming, but I love you, Molly. But you're like such a talented actor and musician, and I want to like give you an opportunity to kind of shout out like some projects that you're working on before we let you go.
Yeah, so my Instagram is Gabe's the Babe. I know it's a little douchey, but it
Gabe's
rings. It rolls
the
off
Babe.
the tongue.
Perfect.
It rings.
Gabe with the Z and then the Babe. And artistically, this year has been really good for me because I've also obviously like had the time to do like creative things, and I have an EP coming out in December. So yeah, very
Yes.
good
Called?
vibes. I don't know yet, but
Okay.
I'm writing my songs and finishing them this month, and I don't know what it's like called, but I'm like asking like opinions from like my fans and like my followers and stuff, like, hey, do you think I should slow this tempo down? What do you think I should call it? So like it's a really fun process. You know, I'm not trying to take it too serious, but like obviously serious like on the production part and the singing, because I want to like
Right.
express like myself the best way I can. But I'm excited.
You have a
for it.
beautiful voice.
Thank you
like,
so much.
truly.
You guys
Thank
need to do
you.
a song together.
That's what
I've been
I was
saying.
saying.
That for
I was
a
like,
long
wait,
time.
what?
I'd be so down. I actually really would be down. Half the time when people say that, it's like, yeah.
Let us know in the comments.
I really would with you.
Let us know. Reach out to our Instagram if you'd like it to happen, or email us at the.
I love do a little intro song. Let's get it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or something. What's
Something.
good? I love it.
Thank
you so much, Gabe.
We love you
Yes,
so much.
loves.
I love you.
I can't
I'm very
wait
grateful
to
for you.
physically squeeze
Yes.
everything out of you too. I
And
love
we're
you
gonna
so
squeeze
much.
you right back.
Thank you for what you're
True.
doing. You have no idea how many people you're inspiring, and I love you both.
Same
Thank
to you.
you.
I love you.
Thank
Mwah.
you.
Wow, what a beautiful conversation. Thank you so much to Gabe for coming on, being so real with us.
Yeah, I love him so much. And again, if you want to reach out and follow like his projects that is going on, his social media, his Instagram is at Gabe, GABEZ, the Babe. Gabe Z the Babe.
Yes,
Gabe's the
perfect.
Babe. I wonder how. Whatever.
Gabe's the babe.
How he'd like us to say that. But thank you again, Gabe. We love you so much for being so open and
Yeah, for sure. And in line with our episode, the charity nonprofit that we chose for this one is the Los Angeles LGBT Center. Since 1969, the Los Angeles LGBT Center has cared for, championed, and celebrated LGBT individuals and families in Los Angeles and beyond. Today, the center's nearly 800 employees provide services for more LGBT people than any other organization in the world, offering programs, services, and global advocacy that span 4 broad categories: health, social services and housing, culture and education, leadership and advocacy. That feels like more than 4, but that's cool. They are a force in the fight against bigotry and the struggle to build a better world, a world in which LGBT people can be healthy, equal, and complete members of society. So to learn more and donate, please visit lalgbtcenter.org.
And don't forget to follow us on IG and Twitter at the SOS Pod. You can find us on YouTube. Please subscribe. You can watch us. You can love us. You can like our video. You can share our video. Whatever you want to do with our video.
You can hate
That's
us. We don't
appropriate
care.
or inappropriate. Who gives a shit? It's fine with us. And obviously, you can find us where you find your podcast usually. So that's Spotify, that's Google, that's Apple Podcasts, that's whatever I didn't say, because there's a lot out there. And don't forget to rate us 5 stars and leave a little review. Anything helps us to reach more people, helps us in the algorithm. So if you like us, share the wealth to the others. And
Please.
yeah, so here's to turning meltdowns into magic.